here. There's no one behind me, no one in front of me. And let's just floor it. Let's go. Now, one brand that never disappoints when it comes to exterior and interior design is going to be Mini Cooper. We've had the Paceman, the Clubman, the Mini Cooper Coupe, which looks extremely weird when you looked at it back in the day. And now we have the 2025 Mini Countryman, this one being the full EV dual motor. We have 306 horsepower in this thing, and it feels a lot more powerful than that. We still have, of course, the funky exterior design intact, as you can see. The funky interior, that takes the price for sure. So what we're gonna do in this video, have a look at this design from front, side, and rear. The interior, of course, gonna show you all the quirkiness in there. And then, of course, last but not least, we're gonna take this for a drive. As always, let's start and check out what's under the hood of a 2025 Mini Countryman EV SC, all four in this beautiful indigo sunset blue metallic. So as you can see, we don't have a frunk whatsoever. We just have this big cover here under the hood, and the power comes from two electric motors, 66.5 kilowatt hour battery pack. You got 308 horsepower. 364 pound-feet of torque. Is connected to a one-speed automatic, this being the all-4, meaning that, of course, you do have all-wheel drive thanks to the dual motors. 0 to 60 takes about 5.5 seconds, but as I said, it actually feels a lot quicker than that when you're driving it. The range comes out to about 212 miles. Not the best range in this category at all, but if you charge it every night in the garage, there's not going to be any problems whatsoever. You have the price of $51,145. Now, for the interior, we don't actually have any sort of animal materials. Everything is recycled for the interior. You're going to have a look at that later on as well. So, closing down this hood here, and check out this design. I mean, how can you not love what Mini has been doing with their vehicles for such a long time? Mini is one of the companies that I feel like they're having so much fun still designing their cars, and that goes for this one as well. It's maybe, I wouldn't call it beautiful, but it's definitely a unique looking design. And you can definitely see that this is for sure 100% a Countryman with the package that we have going on here. Now look at the front end design. We have this big, beautiful blacked out housing for the headlight unit, full LED daytime lights here. And this changes, you see that it's separated. We have one unit here, we have another unit here, and one in the bottom, one at the top. So depending on what drive mode you're in, it actually changes up the LEDs and how it shows in the front end to show everybody around you what drive mode you are in. You have the Mini logo right here, of course, front mounted camera, radar located right in this area, and we have the lower section being open for some cooling for the battery. We also have, it says Mini. I like that it says Mini in there. It's just a small little detail that I appreciate when they put details like that in the car itself. The hood design, very clean, very almost product designing with this little line that we have in the middle of the hood right there. And I mean, if you look at this, Mini has such a strong brand identity right now. We have this grille or framing for the grille, which is, of course, the silver piece that I'm talking about. I do wish that these parts down here had some sort of functionality to it. As you can see right now, it's just covered up with plastic, but we do have the parking sensors integrated along the lower section here, as you can see. Now, coming around to the side view, and we do have the 18-inch wheels in this case. You can get it with the 20s. I think you can get it with the 20s. I know you can get it with the 19s, but I would reduce the range. So if you want to have the longest range, you want to go with these wheels that we have right here, the 18-inch. And the design of these wheels, to me, these are classic 6-spoke designs in silver, thankfully. Thank you, Mini, for not slapping black wheels onto every single vehicle that comes out today. This is beautiful. We get to appreciate all the small little design details in the spoke design themselves, something that we wouldn't be able to see if that was all blacked out. The proportions of this, as I said, clearly Countryman proportions. We have the floating roof with the indigo blue up top, not having any sort of connection to any other body panel down there. That is what makes this a floating roof design. Blacked out side mirror here, blacked out A-pillar as well. You can hint to the interior there. I can't wait to show you the interior of this thing. Even though it's a very minimalistic interior, it's still a Mini Cooper, so they went a little crazy with the design, and I absolutely love to see that. Make it unique. It doesn't have to be boring just because it's an EV. I do like this line that goes right here and then swoops up in this area. We don't really have a sharp shoulder line, but we have this line that goes up here. Very, very interesting line for the Countryman. Then you have this graphic feature, also interesting design. There's a square right here. You see it says all four. You have this texture here as well. Not sure who came up with this specific design. Just add a square here, black square, onto the window itself with the all four logo up there. We have the full panoramic sunroof up top with the gloss black rails going alongside it. Looking pretty clean to me. I really like this color as well. It has this classy vibe to it, I think, when it comes to the spec for this specific Countryman. Let me know what you think about this design. It's definitely not a Mini anymore. This is a pretty big vehicle when you're looking at it from afar like this. Now, coming around to the rear end, and this is where the graphics also with the taillights become a little crazy. I love what we have here, the Union Jack style for the LEDs, similar to what we had in the previous generations as well. Honestly, I think I prefer the previous generations because it wasn't as pixelated as it is right here. But same goes for the dry modes here. Depending on what dry mode you're in, it's actually going to switch up the graphics for the taillights themselves. You do have a big roof spoiler up top with the brake light integrated right in this area. This is big enough to hide this wiper for sure. I mean, we have tons of space here. We even have a sort of a indent here, a bay, where they could have put the wiper and just hid it underneath there. But I've always loved this Mini logo. This to me just shouts fun. When I see this logo, I know it sits on a fun, exciting car, and that is the case honestly with this one as well, even though it is the full EV. I wonder what the internal combustion JCW version of this would be like to drive. I would love to review that one. It's probably one of the most fun hatchbacks on the market today, I'm pretty sure. We have Countryman spelled out here, S logo in this neon green right there. No exhaust pipes, of course, this being an EV. We do have the reverse lights located all the way down here, in addition to some parking sensors, again, going across the lower section of the vehicle. Rear mounted camera right there. So let's open up the trunk. It is power assisted. Beautiful. We have some netting on the sides right here. We do have plenty of space underneath here. You have even more space right there, and this is where the charging cable usually where you find it. I have it in my garage at the moment. You have some more storage here on the sides, and you have the split right here. You can split the center portion by itself or the two separate pieces on each side there, and that is pretty much it for the trunk space. It's a decent trunk space. I mean, this being Mini's biggest vehicle, it also of course comes with the biggest trunk space. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let's close this bag down, and now we're gonna go in and check out this interior, because this, every time I jump into this car, I just get it just makes me happy to see that we still have some joy in interior designs. Even though there's screens everywhere, it's still a very, very funky looking design. I'm very happy to see that Mini has retained that spirit when it comes to the 2025 Countryman as well. Now, first of all, this is what the key looks like. I like that we have Mini logo here. This is actually the lock button right there. We have open the trunk on the side, unlock the car, and Mini spelled out backside of the key. So let's open this up right there and check this out. Check out the head-up display when we fire this up. First of all, an overview of the interior, looking pretty clean. And here you go, the head-up display slowly coming up there. Very nice. We have this interesting texture on the doors, going from brown to blue. As I said, no animal products in this interior. Everything is, this feels like fabric / plastic. I'm not entirely sure what this material is. Then we have this nice looking door handle, very industrial looking thing. Controls for the windows, mirrors here as well, and you have the speakers integrated right in this area. Memory seats for the seats, and of course the seats themselves are power assisted. Beautiful looking seats, Mini in the backrest, looking nice, proper bolstering as well, looking very, very clean. So let's jump in here and let's fire this up and listen to all these noises that this car makes when you start it up and change the drive modes, for example. We have this This is another detail, like small details like this. This is supposed to resemble a key. You just twist it and it makes that noise and it's turned on. We have the drive modes here. So you see the D and B right there. If you go down one step, it goes into regular drive. If you go down 2 steps, I like to have it in B because that means that you do have one pedal driving, something that I want to see in every single EV. It just makes sense to me to have it. So I always just press this down 2 times whenever I get in this car, and that puts it in regen braking. Now, we do have this big circular infotainment screen. Love to see it. It's extremely thin as well. And even though it's a very minimalistic interior here, it definitely has so much personality. I mean, look at the texture here, the texture up top, and then we have this head-up display with the nice graphics inside of it as well. We have this rear view mirror here, full panoramic sunroof. We can open that up by just pressing that button right there. Now we have a big glove box here as well. Now looking at this infotainment screen, we have this toggle here called experiences. It's not drive modes. No, we don't call it drive modes when it's a Mini. We call it experiences, and we have all of these. And every time you switch these, it makes a different noise. So listen to this. It's just such funky, you know, small details like that. And I love this one right here, that we have the timeless one. Look at the graphics when we go into timeless. Look how classy this is. So you can have whatever graphics you want inside of this infotainment screen. And the cool thing is, it actually changes up on the head-up display as well. So now you have the timeless graphics in the head-up display right there. So going back, let's put it into, I can show you all the drive modes here. We have trail, and that's gonna show you a car in the middle. And this compass going around it. You have the angles for the vehicle here as well, looking very, very cool. And of course, we can switch the center portion of the screen to have Apple CarPlay if we want to have that. You can see that right here. Wireless Apple CarPlay, of course. Or we can go back and just put it into Go-Kart. I think it's the name I want to right here. So let's keep it in Go-Kart for now. And to check out the graphics here, we have the power and the regen. We also have the regen and power up here. We have the battery life on this side and the battery life down here as well. You have heated seats and heated steering wheels by pressing this button. Again, the graphics here are just beautiful. It's just stunning graphics, even though I'm not a fan of touchscreens like this. But if you're gonna have it, just make it beautiful like this. This is exactly what I want to see. Fan speed, we click the fan right there. You have where you want the air to blow out from. With these graphics right here, looking very, very cool. Fan speed, change that in this area. Going into the home screen right here, we have all these apps, for example, for displays, experiences. You have those in here as well. Exterior lighting, interior lighting. We can click on exterior lighting, for example. Check this out. We can change up the headlights and how you want them to function. We have parking sensors and the owner's manual and seat comfort as well. You can go into that and change this to whatever you want. These are settings, again, that you're probably just going to change one time and leave it as it is. You can go into the infotainment screen right here, Apple CarPlay, radio, media, all of these apps that you have available to you. Great to see it. Now, moving further down, we talked about this section already, but this is a beautiful little section right here. We have a couple of buttons. For example, the camera button. If you press this, it's going to show you the full 360 camera. And this is where you can see that Mini is actually owned by BMW, because this is exactly the camera system that BMW uses for their vehicles, which is totally fine because it is a great system. You can see just how high resolution it is. You can see exactly where the car is positioned when you're turning the wheels. You can see the trajectory lines changing in real time there, looking very, very cool. You have 3D view as well, so you can go all around the vehicle by just checking this, rotating it with your finger, looking very nice. You have panoramic view as well, sort of a rabbit's eye, fish eye view of the front end. So the 360 camera system is fantastic in this vehicle. Let's go back to the regular screen right here. We have defroster buttons here. We have a wireless charging pad. Now there are more details, small little details that I love. For example, this handle that you pull, just pull this up and you have a small little storage compartment underneath there. This fabric piece looks great, and that is actually something that comes back on the steering wheel. So you see the third spoke of the steering wheel is actually this fabric material. I love to see it. Also the Mini logo in the middle. This slides back and forth. So if you're tall person, if you have long arms, you want to have it all the way forward. Of course, I always have it like this. I think that's the most comfortable. You have a couple of USB-Cs down here in the 12-volt outlet there as well. I forgot to mention the vent design. The vents feel super nice to use as well, and the design of them, these vents, if you look at these vents, they don't look like regular vents. This at least looks like a designer actually put in some effort and spent maybe a couple of days, maybe a week designing this specific piece. It's just small details, again, like this, that I as a designer just appreciate very, very much when I jump into an interior. Now, looking at seats, we talked about them briefly before. I love to see the MINI logo here. Not sure about the color here. We have some turquoise for the seat itself, and then some blue in the middle. So it kind of clashes. It doesn't match. It doesn't look like this is supposed to be the color to be in here, the blue one with this turquoise. But that's what we get. Heated seats, of course, in 3 different levels and power assisted. Looking at the steering wheel here, beautiful looking steering wheel with the MINI logo in the middle. Small, look how chunky this thing is. I mean, this, when you jump into a MINI, you just want to go and drive it. That is what this car is all about. Again, love the 3rd spoke down here. You have the cruise control settings in this area and the voice command and radio settings on the right side. You have these small LEDs for when the cruise control is on as well. Great to see that. Couple of cup holders down here that I forgot to mention. And with that said, I think we talked about everything in the front end. As I said, we also have this big panel roof there. So let's see. MINI Countryman 2025. Will it fit behind my own driving position? That is the question. So let's jump in and have a look at the back seats. We don't have the same faded from brown to blue in the back. Instead, it's all brown here, but we still have the beautiful door handle there. A couple of cup holder storage in the bottom. So let's jump in here and check out the space for the Countryman. Now, I have to be honest, me being 6'1", as you can see, it is a little bit tight for the legs, but nothing too crazy. I would probably just sit with my knees on the sides of the seat like this and have no problems at all. And then a headspace, plenty of headspace, since we do have a pretty straight roof line here, which makes, of course, for a great space for your head. And in addition to that, you see this carport portion here for the sunroof also helps with the space up top. Beautiful. Folding down this center armrest, I thought you could put your finger back here, but you actually can't. This is stitched onto the fake leather itself. But pull this down, and you do have 2 cup holders right there. What a beautiful design this is. I'm very happy to see this from MINI. I think they've done a great job overall over the years for so long, just designing cars that are fun to look at. And when you see these cars, all you want to do is just go in and drive it. It doesn't matter if it's an EV or whatever. You just look at the design and you know that this is going to be a fun car to drive. So let me show you what that is all about right now. So I'm not going to be mic'd up for this driving session because I want you to hear all the noises that this car makes. We are in go-kart right now. 308 horsepower. And as I said, it feels a lot quicker than that, to be honest, when you're driving this. It is such a funky car to drive, and every time I get into a MINI, I remember why I love car design. I mean, even in 2025, when everything becomes so minimalistic and boring, dual screens across the entire dash. Here we have a pop-up head-up display right there. We have this beautiful round circular infotainment screen. These straps for the steering wheel, and down here, it's just small. As I said, these small details add up, and it makes me feel like if I was a designer today, car designer, MINI is definitely one company that I would probably want to apply for, because it looks like they have so much fun designing their cars. So we are in go-kart now, which is the sport drive mode, or experience as MINI calls it. So let's come to a stop here and go uphill. Now listen to this noise that it makes when we're stepping on it. It just sounds like a spaceship or an angry squirrel or something like that. It's very unique. And it's honestly very fun to drive. The response with EVs, I mean, that is what is the main selling point when it comes to driving EVs, I think. It's just the instant torque that just pushes you back in your seat, even if we only have 308 horsepower. I mean, 308 horsepower in a Mini 10 years ago would just be some special edition version, but now we have it in this. Of course, this one is going to be a little bit more heavy than Minis were 10 years ago. But it doesn't mean that it's not fun to drive. You can't really feel the weight of this vehicle. It feels very nimble, even though it is the Mini's biggest vehicle on sale right now. It's a very light and nimble driving experience. Maybe the sound has something to do with that. So let's see what we have here. We have Core. It's gonna switch up the entire layout here. Got this little tone when you're switching. You can also switch the center portion of the infotainment screen to show you exactly what it is you want. You can also have the map fully integrated right there. So let's come to a quick stop here. There's no one behind me, no one in front of me. And let's just floor it. Let's go. These noises, man. Those 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It feels, I would say it feels a little faster than that for some reason. I think that has to do with this instant torque that you have with EVs. But if we talk about the design here for the exterior and the interior design, I wish more companies could would take inspiration from what Mini has been doing. I mean, I owned a Countryman, I think it was a 2016 or something like that, with the manual transmission back in Florida, the 4-wheel drive with the JCW package. It wasn't a JCW. And it was a cheap vehicle. I think I bought it for like $14,000-15,000, something like that. But it was such a fun car, and it looked great as well. Honestly, I'm thinking about maybe getting myself a cheap, just Mini from maybe 2012 with the manual transmission and all of that, because I want to support Mini and what they have been doing for such a long time when it comes to not just the exterior design and the interior design, but also the overall driving experience. It's a very pleasant car to drive. Now, the only thing with this vehicle, the EV, is going to be the range. The range is not the best. 212 miles on a full charge is not great. It's way better than the Fiat 500e, for example. That's just, I don't know how they were expected to sell that vehicle. This has more than that, of course, which is on the very low end of EVs. Let's put it back into go-kart here as we go on to the highway. That noise again. The range is the only problem why I would not buy the EV, but I would totally be open to considering, if I was buying a hatch, a fun hatchback, to consider, I would probably not go with the Countryman, but the JCW, the new Mini Cooper JCW, just looks really good. I actually like the chiseledness that we have in the rear end, the taillights, how they are like almost like a triangle now. I think it looks very cool. I think still I prefer the old one that had more of a rounded design overall to it and not so chiseled. But if I were to buy a hatchback today, I honestly think that it would probably, I mean, a Mini Cooper would be high up on the list. A Mini Cooper, maybe a Golf R if I want to have the all-wheel drive, or a GTI if I'm fine with front-wheel drive. But cruising along here on the highway, we do have some road noise for sure, but I don't think I've ever been bothered by tire noise and road noise and stuff like that, because it makes me feel like I'm actually traveling in a vehicle. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm on a cloud. The only time I want to feel like that if it's an S-Class, a 7 Series, Maybach, Rolls-Royce, or something like that, Audi A8, then I want to be like completely separated from the exterior or the the outside world. But when I'm in a Mini Cooper, I want it to feel like this. I want to hear some noise from. We don't have the engine noise, obviously, this being an EV. So just having some noise from the surface of the road, the tires, is totally fine for me. So overall, I think Mini is crushing it right now. I look forward to seeing what direction they're gonna go. We do have a brand new design team for BMW now, and BMW owns Mini, so that's gonna affect the design of them. But when it comes to the design overall of the lineup right now, compared to what BMW has been doing, I think Mini still has kept their identity intact 100%, and that goes for this Countryman as well. I mean, the torque is crazy. We just went from 60 to 75 in like that. Very fun car to drive, and if you're interested in one of these, I would say go and test drive both the internal combustion engine and the EV. And if you don't have any problems, issues with a 1200 mile range, this might be something to consider. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.